that Monday. I said, Senator, I respect your years of service. I don't appreciate the way you were taken out. Would you come and visit with me? Would you counsel me and give me some guidance? He came and spent over 2 hours with me. We left as friends, because that's what I like to do, is communicate and leave as friends. You know, the one thing we're all told and we've heard, a politician needs fire in his belly. Well, I lost that fire quite a while ago in my belly because it's gone to my heart. And I don't look at constituents throughout the state. I look at friends and neighbors, because wherever I've gone, and I've been around the state numerous times now, I'm finding people on one side of the aisle and the other that come together and we're on common ground. This is a moderate state. I don't consider it a red state. Or we all know it's really not a blue state, but it's a common sense state. And if we get the word out, we have a very good opportunity to win this. As my opponent has gotten the word out, Coach asked me, where are we at? Where's the polls? You know, we haven't really had the money to do the polls, but we've been fortunate. I have a staff of 12, and we're not in debt, and we have some money left. I need some more money to finish the job. My opponent has spent almost $1 million. And a lot of you might know, $250,000 of that has come from Senator Jim DeMint, because he's handpicking his Tea Party folks. He's got his little posse lined up. Mike Lee has turned down 10 debates with me because he's got an R behind his name. He figures he's already won. One of the best functions I went to yesterday, actually there were two. I was asked to go to the Salt Lake City Rotary and speak at the Marriott Hotel. Sometimes there's a big group and sometimes there's not. I didn't know what to expect. There was 100 people in the room. They were livid. They were quite upset that Mike Lee had refused to come and even pay respect to them. So I had a whole hour, and I got up and I was able to talk and enjoy, answer their questions, and I left there having a lot of people, which happens every day. You know, I'm a Republican, they go, but I'm voting for you. You'll be the first Democrat I voted for. I said, thank you, spread the word. And we're getting emails and calls every day. The polls, my opponent has spent $1 million. He was at 59%. Okay? Now, he should be at 65 or even 74. Last time Bennett won at 74%. Hatch and Bennett have always been no lower than 65. Mike Lee was at 59, and right now he's about 51. The more people find out about Mike Lee, the better it is. We also have another factor in there, a guy named Scott Bradley. He's quite interesting. I think a lot of you might know his name. I think he runs every time. Scott has told me, you know, I'm not going to win, but every vote I get is a vote away from Mike Lee. Last time he had about 4%. I'm hoping he gets maybe 8 this time. You know, I'll take it any way I can get it, because a win's a win, isn't it, Coach? You know, I'll take the field goal, whatever. You know, I enjoy it. I get exhilarated. The circumstances, the people that have come out, it's been very humbling. You know, yes.
You're speaking to the Rotary and the civic clubs in Ogden. You know the date? 23rd. Who put it out?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
You want to know, and they published it.
It's at a point where all I do is get a list, and they're telling me where I'm at.
You're supposed to be speaking to the civic groups in Ogden.
Good.
It's
Well,
either 1 or 2 different days.
okay. We actually thought we were speaking up here 2 weeks ago, but we were just an invited guest. So I'm honored that I love Ogden. You know, my grandmother, I only had one grandmother that I knew because the others were deceased. She lived in Ogden. My cousins lived on Lincoln Avenue. So every Christmas Eve was spent in Ogden, and a lot of good times in between. I used to be the driver for my company. I was the only driver as my dad had the business. So I'd come up, I'd get the orders for the old Pizza House. Was that the right name?
Yeah.
Cosmo ran a few years ago. Sunset Pizzeria, Ogden Pizzeria, Paisano's, Rigo's. Then I'd load the truck and come back and deliver it. So I've been in the trenches all my life. I'm not afraid of work, and I'm not afraid of making decisions. I'm married for 36 years. I have 4 children and 8 grandchildren. And I got into this for a couple of reasons. One, I'm disgusted with what we're getting, and I don't think we have the right attention paid to us a majority of the time. I think that's one reason Utah has some of the lowest voter turnout in the nation, because a lot of people go, what's the difference? You know. Well, I feel that this year there is a difference. When I have people like Frank Layden as my co-chair who brings one side of the aisle, and Frank went to, we're so double booked anymore, Frank went to talk to the chamber today in Tooele. And then I have a man named Mac Christensen, you all know him as Mr. Mac. Now when I went to Mac, who's been a dear, dear friend, and Annette, you asked me, I didn't know Mac was a Democrat. Well, he's not, but he's a common sense, great individual. I said, Mac, I want you to be my co-chair. I'm running on the Democratic ticket. I thought he was so tongue-tied he couldn't say the word that starts with a D. He was, you know, a couple times later, he got that word out. But this is what he really got out. He said, Sam, I don't care what you run on. Friendship is more important than politics. And the one thing I've learned this year and a half, going around the state, is it doesn't matter the R or the D. It's the U behind my name for Utah. And that's what my love is. I want to go to Washington to represent Utah, every inch of Utah, rural Utah. I want to bring some optimism and some jobs and some common sense. And I want to, you know, I'm very fortunate I got the endorsement of the UEA 2 weeks ago because they know I believe in education. Just this past Sunday, I got the endorsement of the Salt Lake Tribune, which was very pleasing and humbling because they don't always endorse this side of the aisle. They knew that I could make a difference. So, that's who I am. I know you came to get a little background, but you also came to ask some questions. So I'll entertain whatever questions you might want to give me. But I did tell you there were 2 things yesterday, so I got to put a plug in because I heard I did okay. After the Rotary, where my opponent has turned down 10 debates, I went to BYU and did a debate. Now that was only my second time one-on-one with you. My first one, I'd never been in a debate. He's a polished politician or a polished attorney, you know, and I wasn't sure what to expect. So it was more of a one-on-one, I'm told, equal, if you will. And I wasn't that probably impressive my first one. But we went to BYU yesterday afternoon. It's taped. It will be on Friday night at 8 o'clock. And I was told that I did pretty darn well. That I walked out of there owning that debate. Is that what I was told? So I would encourage you to look at it, see what you think, tell me where to improve, but know that my heart is in Utah. And I don't have a hidden agenda. I'm not looking. I have the best career in the world. So I'm 60 years old. I want to serve 6 years. If I enjoy those 6 years, and more importantly, if the people of Utah enjoy what I do, I'd love to go back for another 6. Then I'm 72. I think it's time for some young blood to get in the arena and continue to fight the good fight. And that's for this great country that we live in, and especially this great state that we enjoy. That's my spiel.